Mark Rogers TV going to SEC Football Media Days 2017 with Will Gunter from the all-new Early Game. Catch him there weekdays on 107.5 The Game. Will, how you doing?
Day one is pretty much in the books. I'm a little worn out, but as you can see, it's been a lot of fun here. It's actually everything's right back behind me here, and so we're out in the Galleria Mall. But it's been a good day. A lot of interesting stuff. Greg Sankey talking, commissioner of the SEC, to go along with Butch Jones, Ed Orgeron, and, of course, Bret Bielema earlier in the day. So not a ton of information, but at the end of the day, that's kind of what you expect now at SEC Media Days. Not a lot of people to share a lot of insightful stuff. We had a little bit of a filibuster from Ed Orgeron. We had Butch Jones trying to talk about last year, and Bret Bielema talking about having a newborn baby girl. So that was kind of the stuff from today.
Well, let's start with Bielema because as one of your favorites, the old ball coach, Steve Spurrier, has said, this is talking season. So there's been a lot of talk, maybe not a whole lot of said, as you just stated. But let's start with Bielema since he hit the podium first. Yes, he is a bit of a changed person just in the last 48 hours with the arrival of Briella. And he obviously wants to get past what was a rough ride down the stretch against Mizzou and in the bowl game against Virginia Tech, blowing leads. What are some of your thoughts about what the coach had to say today?
Well, he talked about them going to a 3-4 defense, and he thinks that actually matches up better with the offenses that they'll face in the SEC. He said that they'll become more athletic. They'll get an extra linebacker on the field, get a guy off of the field that will have his hand down. And so he thinks the move to the 3-4 is significant to him. And then he pointed out, as if you follow college football, especially in the SEC, you know that last year they had problems stopping the run and running the football at times, and that's when they kind of came unglued. And he thinks that this offseason they've prepared better for that the 3-4 defense will help them with that. Now the question is going to be, they lose Riley Williams, the big-time running back that they have. They've got DeBoy, his name slips my mind as well, the young man that they've got coming back there to run the football for them. But he only had about 680 yards last year. So you're looking at a young man who's got to step up a little bit more. Some of the conversation I was interested in today was centered around David Williams, who transferred from South Carolina over to Arkansas as a graduate transfer. So it's very interesting to kind of see how that plays out for them running the football defensively, where they got to stop the run. That was Bielema's big points today.
Well, what interested me is when Bielema talked about David Williams, he used the term mature in addition, and that's not necessarily what he showed at South Carolina all the time. So it'll be interesting to see if he can take the talent that he showed in flashes at South Carolina and see if that can transition to Fayetteville.
Yeah, I thought that David Williams was a mature kid. I think the question that you have with David Williams is, can his vision improve to see the hole, and can he hit it and be a physical back? At times, to me, it was a lack of being a physical kid in between the tackles that really offset David Williams. He wanted to dance a little bit too much. Didn't want to go north to south. We'll see if that's something that he can change when he's at Arkansas this coming season.
All right. Defense, you talked about fading down the stretch and fading in football games. And, of course, Paul Rhodes taking over for Rob Smith, who's now at Minnesota and possibly a better fit for the Arkansas situation.